Say hey, everyone. Welcome into another edition of Say Hey Plays. My name is Jose Bouquett. Alongside me, as he is every Friday, is Connor Mack. Connor, what a day yesterday. What a day yesterday. How was your day yesterday?
It was good. I went 3-1. It's been a good, last 2 or 3 days. It's been nice to get winning again the last 3 days. So let's keep it rolling on this Friday. And I see you got your Pirates jersey on there. Get a
I, I
little,
I
can't
do.
really see it. There you go.
I do.
Nice.
I do.
Look
I
at
do.
that.
I do. This is the new one, of course. My guy Marcano got called back up as well.
Yeah.
He got called back up, so I did not know he got called down or recalled down or whatever you want to send down. But now he's back up, so we're back, baby.
Are you gonna get a cruise? Is that a cruise? Are you gonna get his jersey?
This is I need to get the.
Okay.
You're right. I do need to
You're
get.
gonna be a full-on just pirate
I
boy.
I I, I
Just
should.
fucking-
I should. I'm just using their
yeah.
money to pay me. It's great. It's awesome. I love them very much. But Connor, before we talk about the Pirates, let's acknowledge a historic day, or a day that happens today, a day that we don't talk about enough. It's Canada Day,
Good.
Connor, and I made a little video for all our Canadian friends, and
Perfect.
I hope that this touches them. And we'll get to Say Hey Plays right after this.
The sun peaks above the St. John's tree line as the fog, wafting from the Atlantic, dances across an empty diamond. Someone screams, "I got it." But the sound nearly gets drowned out by the seagulls that glide along the Scarborough skies. And the makeshift field, carved from Alberta's red maples, pays homage to a famous pond designed by a man from Nova Scotia. This is baseball in Canada.
We get the bonfire, eh? And then we get the darts, and then that's what we do up here in Canada, eh?
This is the game as we know it. This is baseball the Canadian way.
Baseball the Canadian way.
I gotta say, Jose, is that like a knockoff Morgan Freeman doing the little
I asked
voice?
I asked Jimmy who that was because I did take that from the Sport Network's Twitter page. They posted that today. But I don't know. I asked him specifically who that
Sounds
was.
like him. Little,
was like,
little knockoff version.
I was like, who is this Canadian like deep voice Morgan Freeman? I'm assuming that guy's Canadian. Why would they not get a Canadian for that? But yes, lovely. Shout out to Canada. Shout out to all the
Hey,
Canadians
Blue
watching.
Jays just scored 2 more real quick.
There you
7-2,
go.
so gotta be over
Yeah.
Blue Jays on Canadian Day. I guess
I
this
will-
is their 4th of July real quick. Their 4th of
Yeah.
July?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess. I don't know.
Shout out.
I'll say it is. So yeah, happy Canada Day. Right there along. July 4th next, and then July 5th, the best day of them all, obviously. Connor. So this is very very interesting. Say Hey Plays today because it's not often that the Red Sox are live while we're going. And it's a close game that they've already blown, and it has put me in a fucking bad mood. I will admit that, Connor. Not even Canada Day can pull me out of a bad mood with that. But I'm watching the game live, so maybe we'll get some live reactions as well if the
right.
Red Sox do come back. But Christian Vasquez does in fact suck, and he struck out on a high fastball, so that really annoys me. Really annoys me. I'm on the record of not being a Christian Vasquez guy. He's been playing really well this year, but I do not want him on my baseball team. But enough of that, Connor. Let's get into Say Hey Plays 86. Say Hey Plays 86. Jake Burns, those are mean words that you're putting in the chat, and I don't appreciate that. I do not appreciate that. I am ready to break down this card. It's an interesting one. Not a lot of spots I feel fantastic about, to be perfectly honest, but some spots indeed. Maybe you can talk me into them, Connor. Some group efforts here with the chat and all of us in here.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Miami Marlins, Washington Nationals to start this off. Josiah Gray, who has been phenomenal in spots, but the first thing we need to mention and the obvious thing with Josiah Gray is definitely the home road splits. Home a 5.1, a 5.91 ERA, road 2.01 ERA. So him pitching at home here doesn't make you feel the best, obviously. And Trevor Rogers is a guy that I haven't been able to get right all year. Every time I see his name, I think of Noli and Sharpie just going back and forth about how good he is and all that stuff. And I just have not been able to time him up and bet on him in the right moments. 3 earned runs last time for Trevor Rogers, 4 1/3 innings pitched, 7 hits, 5 Ks, 1 walks at home versus the Mets. And before that, at the Mets, so a little back-to-back action against the best team in their division, arguably. 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned runs, 7 Ks, 2 walks. So he pitched pretty well there, but I just can't. I unfortunately just can't find an angle here. Maybe a team total. That would be my first instincts, obviously, because I've become the don of the team total right there with Cabby. But yeah, I ultimately had nothing on this game to start off with, Connor. What about you?
Yeah, I do have a play on this game early on. I like Josiah Gray. Maybe I've been ragging on him too much, and he's obviously pitching a lot better. You talk about those splits, home and road. One thing he hasn't been consistent is with these Marlins, 2 starts, not too bad, going 5 and 6. He gave up April 26th. That's a long time ago. I know that, but he gave up 3, and then May 18th he gave up 4. And yeah, what's happened to Trevor Rogers? Just a guy who was unreal last year. It was automatic for me a lot of the year for unders. And you could look that way here a little bit. I like the Marlins here. I'm rolling with them. I love how they hit righties. I was going through a few. I'm not a crazy trend, but I love to glance at them. They're 8-1. Their last 9 against Washington. So I think they get on them here. So I jumped on the Marlins. The only problem is both these bullpens are horrible. So if you want to go full game, I guess that's how you're rolling. But I'm going to take the Marlins first 5. And you could go because they're both not very good. I think Nats are 27th and the Marlins are something like 23rd. You could double check me on that, but I was looking it up earlier. But I'm on the Marlins first 5 here, plus 110. I had to take them.
See, and I think I would be on the Marlins too. Their team total is at 4.5 at even money. And I feel like I should jump on that. But, the injuries of Jazz Chisholm and Soler, I was going to say Jesus Sanchez, but it's Soler, that both of those guys just went on the IL. That's, that's been their weakness the whole year, even with those guys coming in. They've never really, okay, I should say it's not been their weakness because they've been doing well against righties, but their offense is always the thing that holds them back. Offense and bullpen is a thing that holds them back, and the bullpen holds everyone back, obviously. So without those 2 guys, shockingly enough, it just makes me uncomfortable, and I can't get on it.
I don't blame you. This was one I had to roll with, and yeah, even now this first 5 is plus 115. Other than Soto, I know Bell's been doing better. Cruz, maybe I'm wrong here. I'm just rolling a little bit with the trend, and I'm banking on maybe Rogers has a decent start here in Washington. One thing though, Gray, I buried him, is his walks, and he continued, but he's been a little bit better this year with those. So we'll see here at home if he gets it done. Just couldn't pass up the plus money. I had to take it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. That would be my side as well. The home road splits tell the story. Splits tell the story. Let's talk about this next game. An interesting matchup. Phillies Cardinals here. Cardinals going to the bank. Very interesting. Miles Mikolas versus Bailey Falter. His last major league start was on the 17th last month. 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 home runs, 4 Ks, 1 walk. Excuse me. At the Nationals. AAA numbers for him on the 25th, which is his last start. He cruised and dominated, truthfully. 6 innings, 1 hit ball, 1 earned run, 5 Ks, no walks there. And before that, this was on the 11th. He had another dominant start. 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 Ks. I wish, I would have messaged Andrew about Bailey Falter because it seems like he's been cruising and pitching pretty well, but I'm still hesitant to back them, obviously. Non-division road favorites, that's been a big trend. It's hitting around 60%. Obviously, we've got one here with the Cardinals-Phillies game. Again, this had to be another pass. Left against lefties too. Let's mention Cardinals against lefties was always a thing that we talked about. They've tailed off. I mean, we obviously know that against lefties this year, they're sick, or this month, or last month, I should say, because it is now July. But last month they were 16th, 111 weighted runs created plus. So make of that what you will. Maybe it's too big of a sample size, and I should cut it down to just the last 2 weeks again. But I had to pass here, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Cardinals here. You talked about it. The numbers just haven't been the same the last 2 weeks. Arenado has not looked good. Goldschmidt's still swinging it well. But I don't think Falter gets more than 3 or 4 innings in this one. And I don't trust that Phillies pen. They just scored all those runs yesterday against the Braves. And Miles Mikolas has been phenomenal, especially his last 4 starts. He hit a little rough patch there, kind of in mid-May, early June. Man, he gave up 3, 6, 4. A couple on the road there to the Cubs, Mets. But I like the Cardinals here. And the problem here with me is either you go first 5, because I love getting this Phillies bullpen. You go full game run line. Obviously, the Cardinals will get all 9 at bats. Their team total wasn't good enough. I think it was 4.5, right? I had to double check it. That's why I stayed off it.
I got a 5 at minus 120, and then 5.5 plus 110.
Exactly. Yeah, the 5.5. Yeah, plus 110. That's a little bit of a reach, but give me the better team, the better defensive team. I like the Cards. The first 5. The more I think, though, you could go full game, because I think Falter's just in for. If he could give you 4 innings, 5 would be really good. I think the Cardinals get 2 or 3 off him easily, and I'd lean over in this game. Nice day, wind's blowing out there a little bit, I believe.
Yep. According to Ballpark Pal, it's probably the place with the most offense, according to it. 14 mile an hour went out to right center-ish, basically center. 61% humidity, 35% more likelihood for home runs. So that's a high number. It's not often you see that high. And then 16% more likely for runs in general. I think I'm gonna move on this over, honestly. 9.5.
Yeah.
This seems
like
like a 10.5 kind of weather right now. And on top of that, we mentioned both of these offenses. Yesterday, I believe it was, that Nick Castellanos hit his home run, and he'd been struggling as of late. Everyone in Philadelphia had been kind of getting on him. It was a game. It was a game against the Braves, the last game against the Braves. On the day where I was like, man, I should have backed him. And then Kyle Schwarber had a hell of a month for himself. So maybe those guys are starting to pick up the slack that Bryce Harper left. Slack is a term used loosely there, but I have to. Yeah, I think I'm going to move on that 9.5 right now, minus 110.
Okay. I like it. They have to step up, because when he was just missing whatever he missed there, about 7 to 10 games, they fell off. They scored like 1 run in 3 games there and one stretch of it. So, and you talked about Castellanos, 4 for 9 with a couple homers. You talked about him hitting 1 there. So maybe a guy to look at today. His over 1.5 for his jack.
Cool. Beautiful. Well, I did not expect to move on that over, but here we are. We moved on it, and we're moving on to our next game here. I would like to move on the Braves here, truthfully, but I did some capping and some research. I'm like, wait a second. I could get a team total at 3.5 for the Cincinnati Reds at plus 105 right here. And I think that's what I'm going to move on. So I understand Max Fried dominant. Cruising last time out was against the Dodgers, and every time I talk about someone facing the Dodgers, I always say, that's kind of my benchmark. If you're pitching well against the Dodgers, then shout out to you. But the Dodgers have kind of been struggling as of late, so we always have to keep that as a note too. 6 2/3, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 9 Ks, 1 walk there at home, and then the Giants, 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 8 Ks, 2 walks, and we kind of know the story about Giants and lefties. Shout out to Nutflush Allen. His first start of the year this year was against the Cincinnati Reds, and he struggled. 5 2/3, 5 2/3 innings pitched, 8 hits, 5 earned runs, 5 Ks, 1 walk. Maybe that's his first start, getting used to the short spring training, blah, blah, blah. But if you're giving me a 3.5, I'll take it. I'll gladly take it. The Cincinnati Reds were 4th against lefties last month, 145 weighted runs created plus, which
big turnaround.
Really
From early
high.
on in the year, they couldn't hit a lefty, but they had a lot of injuries, which I was going to bring in. They're getting healthy. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm curious to shorten up the split here. I'll shorten it from just the 12th to today. So technically the 12th to yesterday. Against lefties, they're 11th, 124 weighted runs created plus. That's still great. 24% above average for this Reds team. Give it 3.5, 4 runs. Sure, I'll take it.
Yeah, this is a game I'm going to stay off here real quick. Braves massive number. Freed's been really good, but it seems like kind of maybe a start that the Reds could get some runs here. Obviously, we talked about the Braves hit lefties well. Minor's just been, I don't know how much longer they could really keep throwing him out there.
Shocking.
He's good for 3 or 4 at least, and the Braves should get to him. I leaned over here. We talk about Cincinnati. One thing going through a little bit of the trends today, the last 5 games at the Reds, the Braves all have gone under. Say what you want with that. I just throwing these out. Not that they go against these. And the Reds have been good against the Braves at home the last few years. So difficult one here. I think the Reds are playing a little bit better baseball. They have a horrendous pen. That's why I think you're alive even with this over. Like you talked about, Jose, the Reds could get 3 or 4. Braves get 7 or 8, and this thing could get over.
Yeah, I looked at both team totals, and that usually means I like the over as well. So
yeah,
definitely I don't hate that at all. By the way, Red Sox entering the 9th inning, down 1 run. David Robertson coming out to pitch. David Robertson, who I admittedly would love the Red Sox to trade for. So this is either conflicting feelings. I want him to succeed here so Chaim Bloom can look at him and be like, hey, that guy's good. I want to trade for him. Or I want him to shit the bed here and give up this lead and hopefully they'll win. So a lot of conflicting emotions here. And I also hate David Robertson because he was the face of Team USA baseball in the Olympics that beat my Venezuelans. And so I'm a little bitter about that still. Still a little bitter about that. Next game on our slate. And by the way, yes, I did move on that team total over 3.5 plus 110. Connor moving on an over, I believe. Right, Connor?
Yeah, I think I'm going to move on this over.
Okay, beautiful. Warning track flyout. God fucking damn it. That pisses me off. Milwaukee Brewers versus my beloved Pittsburgh Pirates here. And yes, I said starting yesterday, I was like, I just got to keep betting them team totals because it was one day I missed one of their offensive explosions. I think it was the Brian Reynolds 3 home run day. And I was really angry about it. And I was like, oh my God, why am I not just betting them again? Why am I not betting them again? By the way, Dave Robertson just fucking left that pitch wide over the middle of the plate, and he thought it was gone. That is really disappointing. But I said, why am I not betting them every day? And I'm going to continue to do so. I bet them every day for that 21st through the 25th stretch. And here we are again. It's going to be an interesting slate, or it's going to be an interesting test, excuse me. Obviously, with Corbin Burns, who's best pitcher, well, not the best right now, but last year was the best pitcher in the National League. He's absolutely filthy. He's coming off of a kind of shaky start against the Toronto Blue Jays, 7 2/3, 3 earned runs, 2 home runs. If you want to call that shaky, fine, because he's got high, lofty standards, but that's against the best offense in baseball as well. And before that, he goes to the Cardinals at home, 7 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, 10 Ks, 2 walks, just dominance. But, Connor, I will say this. He has faced the Pirates this year on the 19th, and he gave up 2 earned runs. If he gives up 2 earned runs here, we're going to cash that team total over 3. So I'm looking forward to that because that Pirate squad is not the same. Obviously,
True.
So, okay, Corbin. And obviously they're at Pittsburgh. I'm not, you guys know me. I'm fucking absolutely 100% not taking a side of Pittsburgh right now. Their pitching is just horrific. Absolutely horrific. By the way, I hate when my Twitter notifications send me the results of this game before I get to see it. So Red Sox lose 6-5, but I get to see what Rafael Devers does. However, so like I was saying, I just think if you give me 2 runs, Corbin here, even 1 run, I'll feel a little better. But give me the Pirates here. Team total over 3 plus 110.
Hey, I don't blame you for taking it. This you talked about it right there. You hit it, Jose. This is a different lineup, than especially even the last 2 to 3 years here. And I like the guy on the other side of the hill here, Contreras for the Pirates. I think he's going to go out and pitch well. I know the Brewers hit righties a little bit better. Yesterday, we kind of had a lot of runs, and it was kind of a merry-go-round. They almost gave it up, 8-7 win there for the Pirates. And Cruz just hit a mammoth. That home run was bomb, way gone there to dead center. But in this game, I'm going to back and a little bit here both the pitchers with Burns and Contreras. The first 5 is a 3.5. You could get plus money on it. And I'm going to go full game. I know after seeing that bullpen, but I'll take the 7.5 here. Just going through everything after yesterday's game, I just like it. Behind the dish, this was the only game that really mattered, running through the umpires as I do. We got Angel Hernandez, as I see, 10-5 to the under. So I will take with these two guys on the mound, getting those outside calls. Give me the under here.
That is admittedly not good for my team total over. I will admit that. Angel Hernandez is a scary guy to have back there. But yeah, maybe he starts screwing pitchers and have, instead of having a gigantic strike zone, he has a smaller strike zone. Who knows? Whatever he's feeling on that given day. It's a weird time with Angel Hernandez. But yeah, I'm on the team total over 3. I'm excited. This is my Tuca Chica whatever jersey. I cannot say his name anymore. Tuca Pica. I can't say it anymore. I used to be able to say it, and now I just can't. I don't know. But yeah, Marcano back up, which made me very happy because, like I told you pre-show, I was like, yeah, I had no idea he even went down. I had no idea. I thought he was on the bench for Hoy Park. But yeah, they sent Hoy Park down, which admittedly I like better because I'll admit I'll scour the Pirates Reddit every once in a while just to see how Pirates fans are feeling about their teams.
Yeah.
And there was a whole post that was like, fuck yeah, Hoy Park's down. Let Marcano play second base every day. Oh, okay. And he's hitting last today, but he's starting at second base. It's going to be fun. O'Neill Cruz ends in the lineup. And like I said, you guys know how I roll with O'Neill. No O'Neill, no me. But he's in, so I'm betting on them. Team total over 3. Next game on our slate here is a game that, truthfully, I think, I don't know how I feel about this game. I think Brad Keller just fucked me up. Just has really fucked me up. Has just thrown me off for a loop. Probably one of the things I was most wrong about this year, I can clearly say. I thought Brad Keller was going to have a good year this year. I thought Brad Keller was going to be the best pitcher on this rotation. 2-9, not great. Oakland 3 2/3, 8 hits, 5 runs, 4 of them earned, 4 Ks, 2 walks. That sucks. And that was coming off of a start where he dominated Oakland. Back-to-backs are always tough, but I don't want to back Brad Keller in any situation. I'm ultimately just every time I see his start or his name on the list, I'm like, what's the other team throwing? Okay, it's not good enough to fade him. All right, well, pass. No thanks. I don't want to see Brad Keller anymore. And with a Michael Pineda who's coming off of a finger injury, you guys know what I said about pitchers coming back from the IL. I tend to fade them in their first start. Get the rust out in that first start, and the second start is where I'll try to back them. So, truthfully, after talking it out a little bit, maybe an over 8.5. But you're also dealing with the Tigers, who have one of the worst offenses in baseball. The Royals aren't anything to talk about either, so pass.
Yeah, this was a pass for me too. Tons of conflicting stuff you were talking about. Both these pitchers, Keller has been very good. He had that one start in Oakland and back-to-back, his last 2, June 18th, where he was pretty good, where he went 7. It was shocking. But he came right back and gave up 4 later with that. You mentioned Pineda coming back. I don't love that either. Both teams can't hit, and I have not had success betting either of these teams much all year, Jose, and that's usually in spots. The Tigers were so good to me last year. I was kind of waiting. I was talking to our guy Big Show, and shout out to Big Show. Congrats to him on getting engaged. Shout out to
Big Show, yes.
Yeah, shout out to Big Show. Tigers fan, that last year kind of took late July, that team started hitting, and I'm just waiting till they get going a little bit to maybe start backing them in this one. A little bit of rain. I don't know if it affects anything. Wind's blowing out at 10, but I don't trust the offenses. The last 5 games between these two, it's gone under, but these pitchers are horrible. It could get over. When I see all that, I'm off.
Yeah, I agree with you. And by the way, Connor, I don't know if you've ever gotten this before, but Apparently, you're giving off some Muncy vibes today. Looking like Max Muncy.
Noli always says, yeah.
No, yeah?
Muncy. Tell him to start hitting. That freaking joke. Come on, Muncy.
Yeah, I need him. I like Max Muncy a lot. Could see him in the home run derby. By the way, I'll say this now. I'll keep announcing it as the week comes on. I looked at the monthly schedule and realized, holy shit, the All-Star break is like 2 weeks away. Didn't really dawn on me then. But we're going to run back our home run derby tournament that we did last week, or last year, I should say. It was a fun time. I hosted it last year. I think I might host it again. But I kind of did want it that day just to fuck off, because it'll be the 3 days where I don't have to say hey. But I probably will host it, and it's going to be a fun. I think I'm going to I want to open it up, Connor. I don't know what, I'll spitball this idea with you. We had, Pub Sports Radio guys come in, and, we put like $25 in a pot. Winner of the home run derby gets the pot. I kind of want to open up, and, if you're interested in joining us for the home run derby stream, got to be there the whole time, obviously, or at least until your guy gets bounced. Please message me on Twitter, shoot me a DM at Jose Bouquett, and I'll start thinking about it and start formulating that. Boston Nick, obviously, he wants to be in it as well. He's been talking about it with me, so Nick will be there. I'll be there. I'm sure Connor Mack, you'll drop by as well. It'll be a lot of fun. So just DM me if you're interested, Pub Sports Radio people or not. Let me know.
Yeah, that sounds good. DM Jose. I think we could do either we run one and maybe the chat, or we could team up with somebody in the chat. However, payment, if we could get it, if we have enough guys to do that, I think that would work out great. You get them involved, all our guys.
And it's a lot of fun. It's a whole lot of fun. The video is still up from last year. It was really exciting. It was Pete Alonso who won it last year. And it seems like if you get Pete Alonso, you're just going to win it. But we do have like a random draw for the names, or for the players. So it'll be fun, and I'll think of a creative way to give out the players this year. So we'll be fun. All right, so let's talk about this next game as we break it down, because we still do have like a couple weeks, 2 weeks, I believe, left till the All-Star break. Yankees Guardians here. We've got Garrett Cole on the bump versus Savale here, and I'm glad I was right about the Astros yesterday. I didn't move on it on this show. I gave it out on Betting with the Bag, first 5 full game. It's weird how those, 1 game series spots for the away team just is always a snoozer. It's always a snoozer. And I kind of feel the same way about this first game, to be honest with you. I at least think that the Yankees offense is going to come out rough here. And let me center myself here. I think the Yankees offense will come out a little rough here to start off. But I kind of, this is a common practice amongst baseball teams. You send the starter of your next game to the place you're going to go to early before the team, so they can get there, chill, blah, 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 and they won't get affected by the travel. Garrett Cole's probably been in Cleveland already, and he's probably chilling. So I don't expect it to affect him at all. So if he's going to pitch well, I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. His away ERA is a 3.93 in 36 2/3 innings pitched. But I still, this is one of the rare times I'll be talking nice about Garrett Cole. I still expect him to have a good start here. It's maybe that I think that ERA is a little inflated because of 1 or 2 starts. So maybe a first 5 under for me. That's what I was looking at. Shout out to Lamont Williams. Noli, if you're still in the chat, let me know how you feel about this under. I'm going to look up a first 5 under spot here. Obviously, the Yankees are second against righties. This last month, 129 weighted runs created plus. They've been a juggernaut in the regular season. So you cannot discredit them at all. It's an 8. Full game plus 105, 4 minus 110 for the first 5. And I think I'm going to move on that. I'm going to test my theorem here. Put my money where my mouth is. Think that travel spot. Think all that's going to be a little affecting the Yankees here. So I understand, how flights are and how luxurious they are now for the baseball players, but still. First 5 under 4 for me, minus 110. Connor, I think, bounced out for a second. Probably had to pee or something. Maybe someone's at the door, pressing things. So we'll move on, and I'll get Connor's opinion on that game here in a second. But first 5 under 4, minus 110 for the Cleveland Guardians Yankees spot for me. Next on our slate is a late pitching change. Late pitching change. We talked about Chris Bassett on Betting with the Bag. Chris Bassett now on the COVID list, and now we've got ye old David Peterson, who seemingly has taken the bump. I think Jeff Passan announced it was someone else, but I am seeing David Peterson on Bovada. Unfortunately, I trust Vegas and the sports books more than I trust Jeff Passan. So I'm gonna go with Peterson here, but I will say I'm not gonna back either team here. Shout out to Lamont Williams, max bet on Seattle Cardinals first 5. I like that look there. But ultimately, I couldn't move on this game. I think there's a lot of weirdness going on. So pass on this game. Connor, I'll go back real quick. Did you have any Cleveland Guardians Yankees thoughts?
I don't. Solali has not been good all year, and I was surprised how well he pitched last year. He was 12-5. He was pretty good all year long. He reminds me a little bit of Quantrill, and this year he's just struggled. I hate to say it, I'd be on the Yankees here. Just the numbers huge, and you'd have to go Yankees really if you're fine with eating the juice. The team total over 4.5, 140. Maybe bump it up to a 5, 5.5, however you want to do it. That's where I'd look. But I want nothing to do with this one.
I moved on the first 5 under in this game. First 5 under 4. Okay. I think the Yankees bats will start off slow from those travel spots was basically my theorem. Mentioned, I think they'll come through and win the game probably, but slow start for the Yankees, I think. And then Garrett Cole's probably been in Cleveland for like 2 days now, so no travel for him. Any thoughts on Rangers-Mets real fast? Because I didn't have anything. Late pitching change with Peterson, Bassett on the COVID IL, and Glenn Otto. I liked him for a portion of the year. I was right there with Jimmy, but it seems like he's just not good enough.
Yeah, Glenn Otto on the road here. This is difficult for me because, right away, Peterson's just been really, really good at home. The guy's just been money. And I'm a little leery he goes 5 or 6 today and just gives up 1 or 2 because we know the Rangers have hit well on the road. They've hit lefties pretty good. I was trying to look at this thing. I think he had 250, maybe around there. 247, 33 homers. Their OPS is all right. I kind of wanted the over in this game. I was looking at the winds blowing dead out to center. And it wasn't light. I think it's like 12 or 13. I know it kind of, swirls a little bit there in New York. I don't take a huge thing by that, but I lean over in this game. I think there could be runs. I think the Mets get to Otto. I don't mind the Mets at home here. The team total wasn't great. You could look at the home team run line. I don't love doing that, and it's about even money, but that's where I'd be here. And, man, this one's right on the edge. I want this over. Nice hot day there. I lean over.
I don't hate the overlook, obviously. I don't like either pitcher enough to back them, so it seems like an overlook for here. Know something to answer your question real fast. It is a common practice to say, let's use the Red Sox for an example. They have a game in Boston today. They're playing, and then they've got to fly to Chicago, for example. The starter for the next day will typically fly out like the day of, the day previous, probably the day that they're playing that last game in Boston, so they can get to Chicago or wherever they may be, get comfortable, whatever that you want to call it. So I think Garrett Cole most likely has probably been in Cleveland already, and it didn't take the New York to Houston to Cleveland. Maybe he was in like the bullpen, or maybe he was in the dugout and I didn't see it because I was not watching the dugouts very clearly of the Yankees games. But I would assume that they do that as well. So that's what I'm referring to on that aspect. Alex Gagnon, by the way, liking the team total as well for the Yankees.
Yeah.
All right, next game on our slate here, Michael Lorenzen versus Christian Javier here, Angels, Astros. And Connor, I'll admit, I kind of have a thing about backing a pitcher after like a no-hitter, great start like that. Javier was a part of the main. Well, I should say he was the main catalyst of the no-hitter for the Astros last time out. Amazing start. 7 innings, 13 Ks, 1 walk. I'm sure that might be one of the highest game score starts of the year so far. So I truthfully don't want to back him here. I would rather just watch him and see how it goes after. I like him a lot, especially at home. He's been electric. And truthfully, like I said, it's just a fear, maybe a vividness bias of coming back down to earth after pitching so well last time out. And Michael Lorenzen obviously is not a guy that inspires confidence either. I actually should bring up his home road splits because I think they're also drastic as well. But I cannot back Javier here, unfortunately. And all the things that I've been looking at have been telling me like Astros. It's been pretty apparent. And by the way, Michael Lorenzen home road splits, geez. 38 innings pitched at home, a 2.79 ERA on the road with 29 innings pitched. He's got a 6.14. So truthfully, I think I'm going with the over here, Connor. The Astros offense, fourth this last month against righties, 123 weighted runs created plus. I think they can get to Lorenzen. And I think that this Angels lineup, who I will check on right now, they were 24th against righties, 88 weighted runs created plus. But damn, I mean, I think that can Javier pitch any better than he pitched last time out? No, I do not think so. So I'm going to take the opportunity to fade him here. And, it'll be interesting to see, at the very least, to see how he does. Ward, Trout, Ohtani, Walsh are all in for the Angels. And that's kind of really all I need. So let me double check the numbers and hear what you have to say, Connor.
Yeah, this total has dropped, now 7.5 at a ton of spots. We know how good the Astros have been to the under, whether it's first 5 or full game. My big deal is Lorenzen here. I don't think he's that good, and him on the road, I want to fade. Astros have been actually really good to me, but I've been catching them at those plus prices in some of those Yankee games lately.
Yeah, hilarious. I love every time.
I know you do. Definitely. So I looked at the Astros first 5. You could go full game, but I kind of looked at this team total. If they could get to Lorenzen, I'm worried the bats could be a little silent, early, but I just can't. I think by the second or third time I threw the lineup with Lorenzen, he could get touched. And this Angels bullpen, even if they have a few good games, I do not trust them. So I kind of like this Astros team total 4.5. I'm getting plus 110. It's been stared at me here late this afternoon. I've been looking at it because I looked at the first 5, but I'd rather maybe go full game with the Astros. You'd have to go run line. But I think they could get 5. I'm leery of this under a little bit in this game, but it's dropped, obviously. But, yeah, team total here, 4.5 plus 110.
Man, it is weird that this number has dropped, huh? That scares me a little bit, but.
Well, all the trends, all the stuff is all over today. That's why I think, the money's coming in on it. It's dropping. So everyone's seeing all that stuff,
Yeah, I think I'm going to write down that over 7.5, which is a low number, man. Low number. I'm glad it dropped down a little more. I would have taken it at 8. Why wouldn't I take it at 7.5 is what I'm thinking right now, Connor.
Yeah, a lot of these things, Angels last 6 of 7 on the road have gone under. There's a whole slew of stuff here. Maybe just sleepy spot early and not a lot of runs. But, man, I lean the Astros team total 4.5. They haven't been hitting crazy. I mean, they won 2-1 yesterday, right?
Yeah.
So, but, yeah, I kind of like this team total. I'm really thinking about it here.
Okay, beautiful. Shout out to Mississippi Whisperer joining us. Derek Pata joining us as well, asking about Dodgers-Astros parlay. I think Astros win today, so there's your first leg right there. Next game on our slate, and Markel will answer your over question after this game because that game is next. Arizona Diamondbacks, Colorado Rockies here. Merle Kelly versus Senzatella, and I'll say it every time they come up. Every time Senzatella and Marquez come out to pitch, my first instincts are to fade him. But it's kind of, I would say he's Jekyll and Hyde, to say the least there. His last time out, 5 innings, 8 hits, 4 earned runs against Minnesota at Minnesota. Minnesota, a good hitting team. So truthfully, a 4 earned run appearance for Senzatella would kind of be light for what I would expect. And the previous start versus the Padres at home, he dominated them. 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 3 Ks, 2 walks there, but he got outs. That's all that matters, getting outs. The line has moved towards Merle Kelly and these Diamondbacks is minus 120 earlier today for these Rockies. Their home record's not as good as it was last year. So all those red flags are up. And Merle Kelly dominated the Rockies earlier this year. So I can see why you guys like the Diamondbacks. I truthfully will pass this game. I don't want to. It's not a very interesting game to me on any market size. A lot of people are to see an over 11.5 here, which, it's two of the worst offenses in baseball last month, but it's Coors Field. And like I say, that number is high for a reason. So I had to pass here.
Yeah, this one was a little bit tough for me going through everything both ways. Decent hitting weather. It's a little cloudy there, but still high 70s, low 80s, winds blowing out, anywhere from 8 to 10 at Coors. This was tough because me, I'd love to get on a first 5 under 6.5. One thing about Kelly has not been that great lately and a little rough on the road. Senzatella, his play, other than one shitty start I had pulled up here, what was it? At home against the Marlins, June 1st, he gave up 6. He's been good at home. His last start, the Padres, he went 6 and gave up 1. Cleveland, he gave up 3. San Francisco, he got taken out in that one. But Cincy, Washington, he gave up 2. He's been good at home, dating back to the beginning of the year. This one was tough. It's just tough, because I want to take a little sneak under a 6.5 here, first 5. But I'm going to stay off because it just could start flowing. And both these pens, it'd have to be first 5 because both these bullpens are not good. The Rockies all year long, even at home, they kind of had a tough stretch at home. I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and their bullpen, they just, they give up 5 runs in an inning. They can get you 5, but their bullpen just gives up 4 or 5, and it's like, oh, shit, here we go. And they lose, by a run or 2. So tough spot here. But I'd lean Rockies if I, free bet here. Give me the home team.
It's tough. I don't want to pick a side or a total here, so that's why I passed ultimately. I could see both sides of the coin. For the over, you're in Coors. Both these pitchers don't inspire too much confidence, but underwise, you just mentioned Antonio Senzatella's home run numbers. Both these offenses are 2 of the worst last month against righties. So yeah, nope, pass for me. Shout out to Puzzler, by the way, for joining us, letting us know that Brett Phillips back on the mound. I have the Red Sox post game on right now because I could not change it. So I cannot watch that, but I assume his 2-way player eligibility will be coming soon. His 2-way, he's gonna have enough innings. He's gonna have enough innings pitched to be an eligible pitcher soon. Maybe we should give him a Cy Young Award vote. I don't know. Can Aaron Judge? So we'll say this: Who deserves the MVP more, Connor? Brett Phillips or Aaron Judge? How many innings pitched does Aaron Judge have? There you go.
I don't know. Has he pitched yet this year?
No, he's too much of a coward to do it. So Brett Phillips, 2-way player, the American Shohei Ohtani. Shout out to Brett Phillips. Baltimore Orioles, Minnesota Twins, our next game here. I want to find the other rookie pitcher that is a minus 200 favorite. I challenge you. Challenge you to find the other minus 200 rookie favorite here. He's been great, this Joe Ryan. I have not checked the Rookie of the Year odds recently, but fucking Julio Rodriguez is just so good. He's just so good, and he keeps playing well. So that's going to be an issue for me going forward. But I really like Joe Ryan, obviously. Spencer Watkins, his first start back up from the minor leagues after being called down, he dominated against the White Sox at home. But was that like a desperation start? It's kind of like Jimmy's thought, He comes back up. This might be his last opportunity, blah, blah, blah. And then he pitches well. One run not earned, 5 innings, 4 Ks, 1 walk. I question. I really do question I don't know how long that will last. So this would be the start where I think he gets crushed a little bit. The 225 makes sense to me. So I had to pass here.
Yeah, this one was too tough for me because with Watkins, you talked about it. That first start coming back was really good, but that was a White Sox team. They shut them out. That was horrible to watch last week, the White Sox there. They finally broke out against the Angels the other day, but that offense, we'll get to them later, which I think is an interesting game. As much as I don't want to be taking them, maybe I do tonight in the late night. But here, you talked about Ryan's been really good, but look at the price. You mentioned it, Jose. I mean, over 200 now, 225 with this guy. Holy shit.
He's good.
He's good. No, he's really good. I just don't want to back Watkins. Yes, this Orioles, though, at this plus price, Orioles are in this game tight. I know a lot of people like to take them 1.5. I see that, the Orioles, and maybe a little bit more on the road than being at home. They're starting to swing it a little bit better, which I thought was going to happen, especially against lefties. But I don't know about here. I'm going to stay off. And the Twins, the number's too big. Run line, team total. I just don't want it.
Yeah, the last 2 notes I've got here is that this number did bump up a little bit. It was a 9 this morning, now to 9.5. And Joe Ryan, home road splits. He's got a 3.6 ERA at home compared to 2.6 on the
Oh,
road.
yeah, all the money's on the over here.
Yeah,
tickets and the cash just has moved it from open 7.5, 8, all the way like you talked about 9.5 now.
Makes a whole lot of sense. 2 teams that can hit pretty well. Let's move on to this next game. Seattle, Oakland A's, the West Coast Snooze Fest starting here. We've got one good West Coast game this last couple of days because this has been a good series. Caprillion, Marco Gonzalez here. And I think every time Caprillion comes on the bump, I want to fade him. But Sports Insight gave the A's full line value. Shout out to the people that have been tracking that. That's a big thing. It's up 4 units on the month last month. So I don't want to fade that. I typically like backing stuff like that. Maybe, just maybe you can bet a team total for the Oakland A's. Like if you don't want to bet the money line or first 5 and don't give your full blind faith into Sports Insights, maybe use it as a thing. Like maybe they're going to hit well today. You can get 3.5 at plus 105. I think I'm falling in love, Connor, with shitty teams, low team totals. That's what I'm thinking I'm realizing. Because obviously the Pirates, they're a whole story in their own self. But I also have the Reds team total over 3.5 today, plus money. And I kind of want the A's plus money team total here. So I'm not going to move on it. But it's just, the observations I'm realizing now.
You know what? You're right here a little bit. How bad is Caprillion going to be? I mean, he's 0-5. He is a shell of what he was last year. I got to think something's wrong. You know what I mean? He's just not right right now. 2 starts already versus the Mariners. He gave up 5 a few months ago. And the other start was decent. He went 4 or 5 and gave up a couple. So, and on the other side, Mark Gonzalez, decent ERA. His record says 4-8, kind of like flexing, but I think he's pitched a lot better, especially of late. They should. And for a team that hits lefties well, that's why I think you want this A's team total, which I don't blame you. And they've been, even though they lost the Yankees, even last night, they put up runs, a little bit as of late. So I don't blame you with that. They're only at 204 off Gonzalez. I went through that. They do have 5 homers. Maybe look at a guy like Pender. Laureano's starting to feel a little bit better. He had Jack last night, get healthy, Murphy. So I wanted, again, last night I had the Mariners team total 4.5 was plus money. Now it's minus 120. I don't love it. I talked about it. I want this over again a little bit in this game. It could be one of these weird games with these offenses. It could be a freaking 3-2 game, and I just get blown up. With all the bets I have, I'm not going to add it, but I'd be on the over again here. Or a team total, especially the A's. Not the Mariners as much, but, yeah, I don't blame you.
A lot of love for the over in the chat as well. Over juice for me at -120 at over 8.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting a question mark on both of those right now because you're right. I'm sleepwalking into a lot of plays again like I used to.
Mariners it kind of took care of the A's a bit lately. They kind of kicked their ass in Oakland. Now they're back home. They need these wins bad. I know you have the over, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these are games they gotta take care of. So Caprilia, man, there's no way I could touch him in money line with you.
I've put that future as an L in the back of my head already. That's
get a little hot though.
That was the other. Like it was Brad Keller and the Seattle Mariners, who I've just dead wrong on, just both, and I guess the Yankees because I have a bet for them not to make the playoffs this year at like +290. So whatever. But this Mariners team has just been a huge disappointment. And also we have to mention, it's fucking kind of annoying now that we have to just kind of remember all these suspensions, like when they're starting to serve them and all that stuff. Like I know JP Crawford's in the middle of his. When is Jesse Winker going to start serving his? Because I saw him recently. I don't know. It's just hazy bullshit. So I'm putting the team total over 3.5 and that over in question marks for now. So
yeah, you're good. They're in the lineup tonight though.
Good.
At least Winker is. Rodriguez, Suarez, Santana. And he was horrible, popped up there early. Toro, Frazier, Moore, Knapp, Haggerty. So
beautiful. All right. So let's move on. Next game, and I think the game that is the most popular, of course, on the West Coast. Your game here, Connor. I might even just I might clear the path for you, Connor. Just why don't you cook here on Dodgers Padres? I want to hear your thoughts. You've probably been watching these games a lot closer than I have. So please, what are your thoughts on this game and maybe even the series as a whole?
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, the Padres, they always want to play up to the Dodgers, and they play well. These games are always tough. Not quite Giants rivalry, but
it's getting there.
Yeah, we'll see. Tatis back to them to have the record they have to right now. I would just be and I heard they're ecstatic that clubhouse is. I was reading some stuff in the newspaper that they're really happy where they're at going in here to the break. Snell's just been awful. He always never was really great on the road. He has pitched well against the Dodgers. I've gone through all these stats from the last few years. They're not hitting great off him. Few guys, if you want to look to. Taylor, starting to swing the bat better. He's got good numbers, a couple homers if you're looking for a jack. He's around almost 500. Will Smith, decent numbers, 4 for 14 with a homer. Here's Snell since he's been back. And he's a guy that third time through the order, that's why he's always yanked right around the 5th inning. He starts to get hit. And his problem is the walks. Walk. And the Dodgers' #1 patient team the last 5 years. They take their walks. They'll work you. They work. That's one of the best things they do because they don't bunt anymore. Dodgers don't move runners over. They're one of the worst teams. That drives me crazy in the playoffs. But they do take their walks. They're very patient. So it's an interesting game. Last night I was on the under. I kind of like it again. Gonsolin's just been money. I mean, he's due for one of these starts. But back here at home, maybe it's going to be after the break. Maybe he's going to go into the break here. Undefeated. He had a good start on Sunday against the Braves, which I thought he might have cracked a little bit. But he was phenomenal. So I like the Dodgers, this lower price again, first 5 a little bit by the half. And I kind of like the first 5 under 4. The problem is Snell. If he gets blown up, is he going to be the good Snell against the Dodgers? And we know Dodgers' tendency to not hit lefties well. They're a little bit better, but still they're not great. So I think the Padres kind of would have been the play last night, even though it didn't work out. Dodgers ended up winning. I lean this first 5 under 4, and I lean the Dodgers a little bit, whether you want to go first 5 or full game.
Yeah, I think Real Deal Prime giving Blake the Snake Snell this nickname, and it's a nickname because you get bit a lot, like he's saying. You get bit a lot trying to bet this guy, and I don't want to bet him. He's just visually not an appealing pitcher to watch. The walks are so
he's just not there. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. So I don't want to deal with that. and maybe he can conjure up those World Series magic numbers again, but
Yeah.
no thanks. No thanks for me here. Did you move on anything officially then, Connor, on this game?
No, I'm gonna wait. I don't know if I want to go the under still. I like it a lot again. Or maybe the Dodgers first 5 you can get around -110. I'm gonna wait on this one to pull it, but that's where I'm looking here.
Okay, beautiful. Let's move on to the last game on our slate. Really stinky game. Oh my God. I have no desire to watch this game at all, Connor. I can tell you that wholeheartedly. Officially, I'm out on Lance Lynn. It is July 1st, 2022. I'm out on Lance Lynn. I'm not betting him anymore. I think he's done. I don't know if it's just his only throwing fastballs and then having them cut left and right every so often, and maybe that's it. But he's just not good anymore, apparently. His last time out against the Orioles, 6 runs, I should say 5 of them earned. I gave him 2 chances, basically. Once against the Blue Jays, which he got crushed. I was like, all right, that's the Blue Jays, sure. But against the Orioles, a team where if you're Lance Lynn, you expect to dominate them. Can't do it. No thanks. I officially am out on Lance Lynn. It made that realization made this line make a whole lot of sense to me, because Alex Cobb is not good either. I mean, 4 1/3, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 4 Ks, 1 walk against the Reds. Sure, that's fine. But I'm ultimately I'm out. I missed the Alex Cobb from like the first couple of starts of the season, where he was like really electric and dominant. But the IL stint throwing him off, and a couple more, no thanks. So another pass here for me, unfortunately. I felt like I have a lot of passes on this card, but I've got a lot of plays at the same time. So very interesting how that works out.
Well, I'm very interested in this game a little bit. But it's going both ways in this one. We were here last Friday. That's the Reds, and they won that game, got the team total. Remember I was talking about it? They got a couple off Cobb here, and then he got out. He only went 4 1/3. That's what he's about gonna go. The White Sox have bitten my ass a lot this year. Their team total over 3.5 plus 105. Can that happen? I mean, their last 7 games, 6 of 7 have gone under. They couldn't hit a lick. You got to think this lineup, and guys like Anderson, Robert have unreal numbers. If you look in their hitting prop or homer tonight, I know it's San Francisco. You look to the under. This total's only 7.5. Going back years past, these teams have played to the over, and Lance Lynn's gotten shredded. They think these guys are going to go and obviously pitch well here. I mean, with this 7.5, I think this should be 8.5. So that's where I'm a little confused here. And they're just thinking Lynn finally has a good game. You talked about it. You went 4 1/3, 5 and 6 2/3. 3, 3 and 5, arguing with everyone in the dugout, going off the whole spiel. So the Bulldog has not been. He's just barking in the dugout, but not doing much on the mound. So, but I think the Sox team total at 3.5 has been staring at me at plus 105. And I might move on to here later tonight.
I don't hate it. As a 3.5, that's kind of the money zone right there for me. So I don't hate it at all. Truthfully, I really don't.
Kind of not a shitty team, but it's one of the we're going here. God, can they get to Cobb here? It seems get 2 or 3 off him. That Giants bullpen's been a bit better, but they're nothing to brag about. So,
no, I agree with you. So. I think this is going to be a fascinating day here. A lot more plays than anticipated. I came into the card with just 1 Pirates team total over 3 plus 110. And now I've seemingly got 1, 2, 3. I've got 4. Maybe I've got 3 more question mark here. And maybe we'll get some comments that'll push me towards betting it or not. But I'll start off, Connor, by recapping my plays. I'll hear yours, and then I'll probably recap my plays a second time to decide what I'm on. But I'm on, like I said, Pirates team total over 3 plus 110. Get to Corbin Burns, just 2 runs. Just 2 runs. That's all I'm asking for. Cardinals, Phillies over 9.5 minus 110. That game is underway already. I'm looking at the scoreboard, 1-0 Cardinals. So good start, I guess. Cincinnati team total over 3.5 plus 110. New York, Cleveland, first 5 under 4 minus 110. Excuse me there. And then I've got 3 question marks that I'm going to try to decide on here soon. Houston, Angels. I didn't even write over under minus 110. I think it was over 7.5 there at minus 110. And then I've got the Oakland team total over 3.5, and then Oakland, Seattle over 8 minus 110. So I'll be thinking about those here in a second. But Connor, what do you like here?
Yeah, you already mentioned the Cardinal game is underway. I have the Marlins underway as well. I have the first 5 at plus 110. So we still see 0-0 bottom 2 there. Rangers, Mets over 9. I got the Pirates, Brewers, full game under 7.5. And Rangers, Mets over 9. Astros, team total 4.5, plus 110. I'm just taking it here. I just faded Lorenzen. Hopefully we get 5 out of the Astros. They've been a team with team total, but usually that'd be if I touched the 5.5 last year, Jose. 4.5 at this plus money. I got to take a stab at that one. We mentioned the Braves, Reds over. These are the last ones I'll wait on. I'll throw it out if I play. That Sox team total has got me looking. The Dodger game, I think this is an under. And the Dodgers have just at home in San Diego they've struggled, but at home they beat up on the Padres. I look at Dodgers first 5 there minus a half.
Oh man, I'm gonna give credit and blame to Real Deal Prime for me doing this next thing. I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna officially take all those question mark plays. I'm gonna make them all official as well. So, Angels, Houston over 7.5 minus 110. I'm gonna make that. I'm gonna bet that here after the show. And luckily, I can bet the Angels or the A's stuff now because I'm taking the over in that game, over 8. Real Deal Prime saying it has to go over. It just has to.
A's Mariners? Is that what you said? Or oh, okay.
Yeah, A's Mariners. And I'm gonna go ahead and also take that A's team total over 3.5 as well. Shitty team totals, man. I don't know what it is about them, but I seem to always gravitate them. 3.5, just give it to me every time, man. I don't know. So yeah, one more time, just so we can have it all in one little loop here, so you guys can see it. Pirates team total over 3, St. Louis Cardinals, Phillies over 9, Reds over 3.5 plus 110, Cleveland, New York under 4, first 5 minus 110, Houston, LA Angels over 7.5 minus 110, and then the Oakland double up there. Oakland team total over 3.5, and Oakland Seattle over 8 minus 120. So beautiful. All right, so that is a fun card today. Did not expect, like I said, to have all these plays, but it's going to be fun nonetheless. Tomorrow, truthfully, I just realized, I was thinking about it today. Tomorrow, do not have a guest on tomorrow officially, but I will ask around. Connor, if you're free, if you want to jump on tomorrow, perhaps you can come on. No pressure, obviously.
Yeah, shoot it around. If not, I can jump on with you, I think.
Beautiful. So no pressure at all, obviously, but it's going to be a fun weekend. We've got July 2nd, mañana. July 3rd, if obviously, and I think it's Sunday, July 3rd, and then that's going to be a good day. Then the 4th, obviously, on Monday, it's going to be a fun time. Actually, I think, Connor, I'm going to do some lake activities on the 3rd after the show, so maybe this tan here, get a little
lake action.
Maybe a little darker. Who knows?
What lake you go to?
Well, I'm going up to Austin, and I've never gone paddleboarding on the river there or lake, whatever. I think it's called Ladybird
What's
Lake.
their thing they get? They have like a spring there too. When I was there,
there's I think I don't know where exactly it is, but it's called. I think you're thinking about Dripping Springs.
Maybe
there's a lot of natural things in Texas that are cool to do, but I hate the outside world, so I don't participate them.
When you're a capper, you got to be inside.
Exactly. You can see by this skin tone right here, by this lightness, you can see I have not seen the outside world in a long time. I appreciate everyone for coming by and watching the show. It's always great to have you guys. Hit the like Connor said. I appreciate when you guys comment and put your plays down there in the comment section as well. It helps me see them again, reminders, and hopefully gives me something to root for as well, because we're all on the same team rooting for the same goal ultimately.
Oh yeah.
Connor, where can the people find you at?
Just here, Pub Source Radio. You know the deal. whatever it's other shows that I'm on, and maybe tomorrow I'll be back with you. Who knows?
Beautiful, beautiful. I cannot wait. I'll shoot you a text message here
Perfect.
soon about it. Connor probably joining us tomorrow, so that'll be fun, of course. And you can find me on Twitter at Jose Bouquett. I will plug this event every time with every guest because I think it's fun. I think it's a little funny just to hear the guest reaction to when I bring up the poster. Don't forget about Foxy Boxing on July 28th, guys. It's going to be streamed live on Pub Culture Radio. It's going to be a great time. I'll be on the call with our Cecilia, 210 La Chismosa. It's going to be a great time as well. Yeah, Connor, you should fly down for some Foxy Boxing. Let me tell you, it'll change your life, Connor. Change your life.
If I'm down there when that goes, I will be there.
Okay, beautiful.
If I'm in San Antonio and that is on, I'm not missing it.
Well, just remember that, Nasty Nate. You hear Connor's voice right there. You remember what he's saying. If he was in San Antonio, he would not have missed it. So shout out to you guys. Say hey on social media, and we'll see you guys next time.